break next week. So, I mean, we down bad. But there was a specific conversation that Gorosei was having in this chapter, and they were talking about a devil fruit that hadn't been awakened in centuries and was a legend even to them. But Oda might have used a little bit of a red herring, and that was Zunisha. That's what we're here to talk about today. I'm going to talk about what devil fruit I think that they could have been talking about. We're going to weed out the obvious, the bad answers. We're going to talk about all of them and try to come up with a pick that Sensei feels may be the right devil fruit. But of course, before we get into the video, make sure if you guys like content like this that you leave a like, and also make sure that you subscribe and turn on those post notifications so that you never miss an upload. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So like I said, the Gorosei at the end of this chapter was having a conversation about a devil fruit, and it seemed to be freaking them out even to them. Now, the first thing that people noticed was they used the word awaken. Now, I don't know exactly if that's the perfect translation for that. However, I don't want people to jump the gun, because immediately they were like, oh, it's law or kids or dolphins or katakuris. It has to be a devil fruit that's awakened already. It's an awakened devil fruit. Relax. If you look at the context, they say it hasn't been awakened in centuries and it's a legend even to them, meaning to me that they are talking about the fruit specifically just being used or being in the world, not that it's awakened. I think awakened was just... Now let's go through the obvious choice. The obvious choice for people is Luffy. I do not think it's Luffy. They talked about this fruit like it's something that they didn't know about, that it's something that hadn't been around for a long time. They had the fruit in their possession, meaning they knew about this fruit being there, they knew about this fruit existing, and it got stolen from them. Because of this, I don't think that they're talking about Luffy's fruit. It literally doesn't make sense. They've known about Luffy's fruit. This isn't something they just figured out or something they just knew about. This is way back when Luffy was a small wee lad. They had this fruit on a ship and the red hair pirates stole it. So because of that, I think we can rule Luffy out of the equation. Now, the next one that I want to discuss is the red herring, which I think is Zunisha. Now, a red herring, for those of you that don't know, is basically a term meaning something like an author puts into story to like throw you off of what's going on. Now, the reason why I think this is a red herring is because the way that Oda paneled it, it made it look like the Gorosei was speaking directly about Zunisha. But there's a few things that I have to point out here. One, the people that are on the Denden Mushi are not talking to the Gorosei. There was no Denden Mushi or no phone present in the Gorosei room whatsoever. They're also not shown to be talking to anyone. Another thing is, it looks like the Marine officials or the world government, whoever, I can't remember. I think it was Marines though. It doesn't matter. They seem to be looking forward past Zunisha. Zunisha looks like she's behind the ships. Now, this doesn't mean that they're not looking at Zunisha, but it's a possibility they're looking in the other direction, which can mean it's a different shadowy figure. It looks like they're talking about Zunisha. However, I believe it's a different fruit because they're not talking to any Marine officials. Another thing, if Zunisha was a devil fruit, why is she just walking in water for centuries? Why is she in the ocean? Wouldn't she be weakened? Would she be able to walk for centuries while being weakened by salt water that she was in being a devil fruit user? That's another good question I have that I don't think people are thinking about. Now, I know there's like the whole 51% of your body thing and then you can't move and like there's mass and all this stuff that you have to put into the equation, but I don't think Oda's thinking that far ahead. Usually it's just like, oh, devil fruit, oh, salt water or salt or whatever, sea stone cuffs, whatever it may be, it weakens them. If sea stone cuffs can weaken somebody, of course, just being in the ocean, even if you're not submerged, is going to weaken you. So it makes me feel like Zunisha is not the right choice. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the Toki Toki fruit. Why did I say Toki Toki? Is it called that? I don't think it's called that. I think it's just Toki that has the fruit. I don't know. But Toki's fruit is a good one because it says they didn't know, it had been awakened, for centuries. It was a legend to them. Toki came from the Void Century, and then fast forward to Kinemon and the others 20 years into the future. Now, people's rebuttal to this was, well, how would they have known about Toki's fruit if she came from the future? Like, how do they know about the fruit? How do they know the fruit is still awakened? Toki's dead, Toki's not here. Like, how do they know that the fruit was used? The best answer to this is the fact that there are people in the wrong timeline appearing. Kinemon, all the others that were in the past, they weren't in this timeline. They just popped up, and they probably know about them because they were around when Roger, Whitebeard were doing their thing, going to Wano, things like that. But how do they just pop up like that out of the blue? Another possibility is this fruit is now in the possession of someone else. Maybe it's Hiyori. Now, I don't know if Hiyori has Toki's fruit. That's kind of a headcanon theory I was thinking of. That's a little far-fetched. However, I do think the government would know that the Toki fruit was used. I think that they are smart enough to put two and two together. The math be mathing. The next choice on the list is Tama's. Now, this is the one that a lot of people didn't like. When Tama got brought up in the stream and people are like, oh, it's Tama's fruit, the first thought is, how are they fighting over Tama's fruit? Like, why do they want the Kibi Dango fruit or the whatever the hell it's called? Like, what does that do? The Smile fruit users are new. It's not relevant. There was a theory. Someone thought because of the way that the, Kibi fruit, or I think it's Kibi fruit, Dango fruit, whatever, Tama's fruit, the way it's named makes it seem like it could have possibly been changed. They also think that it's a possibility they did mean awakened and Tama's fruit has awakened and that she can basically control any living creature. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, if her devil fruit can just control any living creature, like on some voice of all things stuff, or like some ancient weapon type tip, like just control sea kings or, whatever creature it is, that is crazy. And that could be super, super useful to the world government. Now, I'm not gonna lie, if that's not the case, I don't see why they would want Tama's fruit. Like, what do you want that fruit for? But if it can control anything, it's like, bro, what are we talking about? That fruit is insane. For me though, I think I would lean more towards Tama or Toki. I really don't think it's Luffy. I know it's possible that it's still Luffy, but like, just based on the fact that they said it's a legend to them, that just doesn't make sense narratively with it being Luffy, because it's like, they know about Luffy's fruit. They had it. And also, Zunisha being a devil fruit is so weird to me, because it's like, what is the island? Did the island eat the elephant fruit? Or did the elephant eat the island fruit? Like, what is going on? Like, how did that even happen? Like, Zunisha can't be a regular Zoan, right? Because like, the only time we've seen like an animal with human characteristics is Chopper, but he ate the human fruit. Like, how would Zunisha be communicating with the voice of all things and like doing all these extracurricular activities just being some sort of devil fruit? I don't know, man. It just seems kind of far-fetched. Now, I know, it's not impossible, but it's just the fact that Zunisha is in the ocean that's bothering me the most, because it's like, how? Like how, Sway? What's so important about this devil fruit though? It's gotta be important. If you look at the way the Gorosei was sweating when they were talking about it, like, this fruit is incredibly powerful. I don't know what it is, what they're looking for. However, I do know that it made them get very uneasy. They also spoke about someone perhaps dying in this arc due to Kaido and Big Mom's unification. And I'm wondering if this fruit is to blame. Like, is there some sort of fruit that's on this island that someone has that has some sort of ability that's that powerful that it could scare the likes of the Gorosei? I just don't see that being Tama. Like, I don't... Tama's a good choice and that theory is really awesome. But it's like, yo, Tama's fruit made the government sweat, like made them feel like, yo, we in trouble? Tama? I think no matter what though, it has to be a fruit that's just resoundingly powerful. The more and more stuff that happens in Wano, the more I think like Blackbeard might show up. I know that we're kind of past that point now, and it's like, yo, Blackbeard's definitely not coming, but bro, pause. But like, what if he did though, man? Like, there's some super strong devil fruit here that fits in line with Blackbeard. Ancient weapons are popping up, like, well, that's headcanon, but I really do think Zunisha is a part of like an ancient weapon, or at least has something to do with it. Like, I could be wrong though, but the voice of all things so interesting when talking about that. But that's neither near or there. My thing is, this is totally a moment for Blackbeard, bro. Like, show up, smoke somebody, and take this fruit. But everybody's like, oh, that's super repetitive. That's just Marineford 2.0. And I get it. But I mean, come on. Is this not screaming Blackbeard? I don't know. Either way, guys, I'm really excited to hear your thoughts on this. Like, what fruit y'all think this might be. If you think it's, Luffy, Tama, Toki, no matter who you think it is, make sure you comment down below and let me know. Also, in my pinned comment will be my Discord link and my Twitter link. Make sure you follow me on Twitter and also join the Discord so you don't miss any of the cool fan things that we do. As always, I hope you all are staying safe and healthy during these trying times. This has been Sensei Ink, and I will see you all in the next video.